Because it does. Action or non-action happens automatically. People appear. Information appears. Opportunities appear automatically by law as you flow to realize your desire. This is because the individual is not the sole doer. It may seem to appear that way through identification with the personal identity. Yet the reality is there is only one consciousness, one cause, and everything moves in perfect harmony automatically by law through the one cause. And it has all been figured out. Remain in the state of fulfillment and you'll observe how everything happens automatically from... Actually, everything was always happening automatically from whatever state you occupy. And since one may fluctuate through states during the day, it may seem like things are not happening automatically at times in contrast to the fulfilled desired state. So thus I recommend abiding in the state of fulfillment in general. From there, we don't experience worry or being swayed, which is really a result of wavering into different states of consciousness. Now, one may, however, waver into different states outside of the state of fulfillment because they don't acknowledge that they can easily fulfill desires that show up during the course in imagination. Desires may show up all day long and they can be fulfilled in imagination, like we discussed in Tuesday's video. I'll link in the description to it. Desires are opportunities to acknowledge in imagination that you already have. They are confirmations of what you already...
First of all, it's already done. Everything that you have ever desired is already achieved. As I've told you before, it's about aligning to the frequency with which that desire sprung into being. Because as he was saying earlier in this talk, in Genesis 2, it talks about creation and how everything is already created. So every idea or every big dream that you have somewhere inside of you, there's a seed. That seed has a map and a blueprint to it becoming a fruit. Just like the parallel in nature being every seed has a genetic code inlaid within that seed for, under the right conditions, for that seed to sprout, to germinate, sprout, and evolve into a tree that bears a fruit, or whatever that tree is, right? Same is true for your reality. So each and every desire has a blueprint and a map that without any conscious effort can unfold. The biggest issue and the biggest hindrance to people being unable or feeling unable to manifest their dreams and desires is getting in their own fucking way. I've been the biggest culprit of that. That's how I know it so well. Getting in our own way because we've been embedded in a program for so long that puts the ego to the forefront. And the ego gets in the way of the subconscious mind doing its work. The work is done. All the ego needs to do is step out of the way, but it also needs to be disciplined to the extent to where it's not going to get in the way. And the best way to do that, from my realizations, is to feed it the food that it needs and let it understand, let it gain the understanding, because it doesn't need to understand or overstand. It needs to understand. It needs to stand under this body of knowledge and awareness that by following the guidance of the higher self, inevitably, it's going to have a better existence. And so many times we don't have our coming to God moment. All that means is submission. Submission to our higher self. Submission to our soul's purpose. Submission to the true desires of our heart manifesting. And oftentimes we don't have those moments until the ego reaches a point of disarray and it gets to a point in a place in life where it's experienced so much trial, tribulation, turmoil, frustration, setback, disappointment, all these things from trying to lead the show that it says, I'm gonna step back. The second it steps back and gets out of the driver's seat, your life takes off. That's how I saw it. That's how I saw that I saw a caption that said, in the next 3 months your life's going to change dramatically, and I knew it. I didn't know it. I made videos all this time because I knew somewhere. It's always been there. Just like you. Oh, somewhere deep inside of your mind, not even in your mind, inside of your soul and your spirit and your heart, that where you're at right now is not where you're going to be. Just get out of the way. Just breathe. Just be. Just trust. Just get in nature. Nature's going to get you to a point where you're at an equilibrium. It's very hard to manifest when you're swaying left to right. Balance is key. Being solid, being unmovable and unshakable, and also flowing.
Already have. Remember, your essence of being is already complete, and you have everything already. Thus, desire means you already have.
I like that.
And as a result,
Desire means you already have. Remember, there's been quite a few videos where I say I don't like to use the word desire, because that's entailing that you don't have something. I desire this. I want. These are the same things. I wish. I want that. That's sending a signal into the universe, to your higher self, that you don't have these things. And remember, everything is in the now moment. When you understand that your desire is already complete, then think about how that changes the framework of the idea of a desire. It's no longer something, I desire that. Reaching outside of yourself, I want that. I'll never have. No, the desire is achieved already. That's the fun part. Once you realize that that's the way the universe speaks and that's the way that things manifest, this can be a fun process to where you're just watching it play out. You're just watching it play out and you're just stepping in to the ideal reality for yourself.
of remaining in this state of fulfillment, you don't need to seek in the world of reflections for fulfillment. What you truly seek is acknowledging fulfillment in the cause of the reflection, as awareness of being is already fulfilled. And imagination confirms the fulfillment of your desires. Desire and
Imagination confirms the fulfillment of your desire. Imagination confirms the fulfillment of your desire. Imagination confirms the fulfillment of your desire. The very fact that you can imagine it, this is what that means. The very fact that you have the ability to imagine something confirms that that desire has already been fulfilled. Once you imagine it, once you see it in your mind, what you see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. Now it's about staying in that feeling of the fulfillment, fulfilling of the imagination, and fulfilling of that desire. And that's what keeps you lined up. If you're just lined up for it and you keep and hold that, it's going to come fast. The issue why it doesn't sometimes is because you may be going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So you're sending mixed signals. It's like, if you're dealing with a woman or something like that, or you're dealing with a male. For the women out there, if you're sending mixed signals, it's hard for people to read it. If you're consistent, and if you're direct with what you want, then you're gonna get what you want, or at least the person's gonna know what it is that you want, and if they can give that to you, or if they're, but that's different because you're dealing with, two entities as opposed to the desires of the mind and of the heart that are being sent out to the universe. As long as you're direct and you're staying on the frequency and the vibration, it's going to attract to you. You're going to walk into it, or it's going to walk into you.
fulfillment are one. There is no real gap or separation in consciousness. Now,
Because everything is in the now. There's no gap. There's no separation. There really is no time. Because time and space are illusions. Everything is in the now. And everything is just thought materialized or appearing to be materialized. So there is no space. It just appears. It just appears that it's taking time because we've allowed ourselves to have this human experience. So the fact that it takes time, just enjoy the time. Enjoy that. This is what you signed up for a little while. And it can be as enjoyable as you want to make it.
one may not be used to experiencing this way of being, which is actually their true way of being. True way of being is perpetually fulfilled. Perhaps they have conditioned themselves to believe that fulfillment is found in the reflections of the mirror. The key here is to realize true fulfillment is internal. And through imagination, these fulfillments are automatically added onto you as experiences shared with the external through whatever sports, hobbies, business initiatives, etc. This is the way of the autotelic. You are perpetually intrinsically fulfilled, which again is your true nature, which is already fulfilled.
I like that. I am perpetually intrinsically fulfilled. I am perpetually and intrinsically fulfilled. In all of my ways and in all of my days, I am intrinsically and perpetually fulfilled. Intrinsically, meaning internally. I am inside of my being. I am intrinsically. That's my natural state of being. Fulfilled. I am always fulfilled. I am always spiraling up. I'm always going to higher and higher, better versions of myself. And I'm always in a state of fulfillment. And that's why they say when you have gratitude, things come to you faster. Your reality shifts faster. If you're grateful for the small things, it's even biblical. If you're made the shepherd of a few small things and you're grateful and you're a good steward of that, then you're given much more. So just being grateful for the things that you have, we can always think about. I'm very grateful right now. I'm very grateful, and I know much more is here.
You see, the subconscious aspect of mind does not distinguish between imaginal activity in relation to the five senses or imaginal activity beyond relation to the five senses. The conscious aspect of mind does that. Thus, it is the guardian of the subconscious. The subconscious aspect of mind simply accepts as true what has been allowed to be accepted as true and projects it out as the experiences of life.
Whatever you accept to be true is your reality. That's why propaganda campaigns become so big. If you want to study that, look at Edward Bernays and Walter Lippmann, propaganda and crystallizing public opinion. Then you can start having a better understanding of how governments manipulating have gained control since the advent of multimedia via radio, newspapers, television, telling lies to your vision, propaganda campaigns, schooling systems, indoctrination camps, MK Ultra, mind control, all that other shit. All that weak shit that don't exist in my reality or your reality for that matter any longer. But they understood that if you can get somebody to believe something, whatever the fuck it is, Santa Claus, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, fucking Lucifer, whatever, if you can get somebody to believe in anything, then their subconscious is going to run off those programs. And if it's a dogmatic belief that involves, essentially giving your power away to some external entity, and then you create like I said, a dogmatic set of rules and regulations that will guide the spiritual direction of an entity, you can gain absolute control over a person, over a being, over a nation, over a civilization, over a state, etc. But the flip side of that is when you decide to take control of your reality and you only allow what you want to be true into your subconscious mind, because just like he said, the subconscious mind is not, it doesn't have a questioning mechanism. It accepts whatever is programmed into it. Let me say that again. The subconscious mind, which is running 95+% of your current reality, does not question. It relies on the conscious mind to be the bridge or the guard dog, so to speak. But think about how many people are completely asleep. It would be like having a gate, when you go to like a gated community and there's somebody at the gate and he opens and closes the gate for you. If you just leave that gate open, there's nobody home. You leave all the doors unlocked. You know what I'm saying? You're liable for something to come in there or somebody to come in and take something from you or imprint something that you don't want in there or, anything. The But your subconscious mind is put in place to either accept or deny the stimulus that's coming in via what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're being told. You can either accept it. Once you accept it, it goes directly to the subconscious mind, and then it in turn will end up being projected as your reality. That's why it's so important to monitor what you're intaking. That's why it's important to eat high vibrational foods, because when you eat high vibrationally, it already takes you to a certain vibrational field to where you're not at such a low frequency wave where you become more susceptible to the lower vibrational thought forms. That's not to say that because you're a fucking vegan that you're more evolved or a higher conscious level. Those are just certain things that could be of benefit and typically are, because you already have to be conscious enough to say, wow, I don't want to put this in my body at the least, or I don't want to watch this. This is toxic to my being, to my subconscious mind. I don't want the things that I'm watching. I had a chick that I was, dealing with, and the shows that she'll watch, like, and it's a lot of people that watch these shows. I don't even want to name what they are, in movies and shit, like scary shit and weird stuff. I'm like, bro, like, this is programming your subconscious mind. You wonder why you wake up with these weird dreams and your life be like out of array and shit like that. Like, nah, bro, I'm not watching that shit with you. Like, nah, we're not doing that. Anyways, though, yeah. So when you get to that level where you are consciously aware that these affirmations that you're putting in and you're saying yes to are reprogramming your subconscious mind, and your new reality is gonna look like those affirmations of living the life of your dreams, and every relationship is in harmony, and whatever it is you want or desire, right? That's when it becomes exciting, because you are the architect. So take accountability for where you're at right now. Have gratitude for where you're at right now. Recognize that you are in control. You are in control. And then continue, or if you haven't continued, or if you haven't even started this process, start building. Start affirming positive things about yourself. Start doing things that make you feel good. Start imagining like you're a child. Imagine your greatest version of yourself. What does that look like to you? What does that feel like? Where are you going? Where are you traveling to? What kind of people are you hanging around with? What music and events and things are you doing? How are you using all the gifts that you have of abundance to be able to help others? See, these are all things that you think about. They make that idea stronger and stronger, and further cemented into your current reality that you're experiencing now, because it is in the now. Hold that idea, hold that imagination, and then just allow for it to unfold. I'm proud of you. Thank you for watching. Godson. Also, the subconscious mind loves symbols. Each symbol that you intake bypasses the conscious mind when it doesn't understand what that symbol means on its deeper levels. So that's my little gift to you. Godson.